Hello and welcome back to my channel. Astrobabushka here, Vedic astrologer. In this video I will go over NATO chart and we will discuss NATO's impact into global events of 2025. Okay, so this is not carefully planned video. I decided to make this video a couple days ago. I was preparing for my big video for this channel, predictions for 2025 for the whole world, and I've noticed few concerning points, and one of them will be mentioned in this video. In particularly, it is Saturn and Rahu conjunction in Pisces. I'm using Vedic astrology and I'm using sidereal true placements, sidereal calculations for the planets. So in Western astrology, probably it's going to be different sign, but here it is in Pisces. And so the first thing I decided to check what happened in the past, in the history, during the Saturn and Rahu conjunction. And one of the biggest examples, when Saturn and Rahu conjuncted in Pisces, was the assassination of Martin Luther King back in time. And so that just hit me, I decided to check the Trump's chart and the moment when Saturn and Rahu will be conjuncting in the end of the April. I checked all charts, Musk's, J.D. Vance, chart of inauguration, and that will be mentioned later. So this is the work of mundane astrologer. We're seeing the transit, we're seeing the concerning event, and then we start to mix and match with different charts, inauguration charts, charts of the countries, solar eclipses charts, etc., etc. And that's how you can create the whole picture, and this is how you build it's sort of a puzzle. I cannot say that I finished the puzzle yet, but I think I'm an urge to document at least what I've found out, because this is I think it's something huge. Something huge is about to happen, and it's about to start starting like the end of the March and forward, April, May. For me, it seems like NATO might be building up attention, or considering the solar eclipse, considering the solar return chart of NATO for 2024 till the April 2025, because this is when the NATO was born. It was born on 4th of April 1949. And it's from April 2024 to April 2025, because the NATO itself was born on 4th of April 1949. And so, considering the past solar return, something was already bubbling there, because Mars and Saturn was active, but they were sort of hidden because they were in Astrobabushka's nakshatra that ruled by Rahu. And Rahu is everything that is hidden, everything that is, might be an illusion. So it's sort of like something that is not clear yet. But in this year, I think whatever was happening in the last year is getting escalated. And it's about to escalate in front of our eyes. So without further ado, let's go directly to I will share my screen and I will show you what I was working with and what is my conclusion. So let's start with the NATO chart itself. And here we can see the position of the planets, and here we can see the position of the planets on the cusp. So I'm using the Pavachalita system for most of the time to see, because sometimes the planet can be sitting in one house and then, you know, in reality it's also affecting another one. And with this system we can see bigger picture and we can make a better conclusions and better analysis. Okay, let's make it like this. So the NATO now is going through the Rahu, Ketu. Let's go here. Vimshottari Dasha. So as you see, it's here it is. So it's a Ketu and Rahu. So till the November of 2025, it will be Ketu and Rahu period. Alright, Ketu and Rahu. So when we try to analyze the period of Ketu and Rahu, we think about its dispositor and dispositor of Ketu and dispositor of Rahu. They're both in the 7th house. It's a Venus, the ruler of the Libra, and Mars, the ruler of Aries. Now, so first of all, we already have the connection to the 8th house and stellium of the planets in the 8th house. And the second, Rahu is in Nakshatra Ketu, that ruled by Ketu. And Ketu is in Nakshatra ruled by Mars. And Mars is sitting in the 8th house again. So we have a second time confirmation that both those planets are connected with this planet company, stellium, in the 8th house. As you can see here in Pavachalita chart, all the company of these planets, they moved to the 7th house. And in mundane astrology, 7th house is all about peace and war. Peace or war. And I will just give you a brief description of the meaning of the planets in the certain houses that is connected with the period, with the current period of Ketu Rahu, connection with the 8th house, 7th house. So the Ketu in 2nd house, because as you can see, here it is in the 3rd house in Libra. And in Pavachalita chart is in the 2nd house, so it's affecting both houses. And when Ketu in the 2nd house, it's all about conspiracies, secret movements, crimes, fabrications, and deceptions. I'm just taking all the information from the mundane astrology classic textbooks. When the Rahu in the 9th house, and here it's also in the 8th house, in the 9th house, during this period, number of spies and political conspiracies will increase, and Rahu will behave similarly to Saturn. And about Saturn we will talk a little bit later. Here Saturn in the Lagna, but Saturn will be active in the transits. Rahu in 8th house indicates sudden deaths due to accidents, explosions, suicide, and mysterious deaths. Well, it's all gloomy as of right now. And the 7th house itself, quote, war, foreign countries, disputes, international affairs. So all these topics are very active, I would say, in the NATO's tendencies for this year. That's red flag number 1 for me. Now we go to the Charadasha Jaimini, and it is right here, and let's go here, Charadasha Jaimini, and right now we see the Virgo period is till April 2025. From April 2025 to April 2030, the beginning of April, right after solar eclipse, right after the Indian New Year. Very important point for the astrologers. It's starting the period Libra. Again, Ketu is active here in the second house. It's activating the second time. It's increasing the value of whatever we were just saying about Ketu in the second and third houses. It's conspiracies, it's secret movements, it's fabrications. Also, so all this period, it will affect these 3 houses are aspecting this house, considering the technique of Charadasha Jaimini. Here we see Saturn, again Saturn. And what is the most important here is that the ascendant of NATO is in conjunction with the star Denebola. Denebola in the mundane astrology is about world catastrophes and disasters event, destruction. This is all from textbooks. Now, let's go to the chart of the solar eclipse of March 2025. Here it is, March 29, 2025. Look all the planets in here, in the second house. We have here Rahu. So in one house we have Rahu's sun, 2 malefics and 3 benefics, but 2 of them are retrograde. Venus and Mercury are retrograde here, so they are not strong, and Mercury here is debilitated. And let's check one more tool here, the Sarvatobhadra chakra. This is a special chakra in the Jagannatha Hora software. And so the key points to see here for NATO are Purva Bhadra Nakshatra, this one. Because in the natal chart, this is a transit, but in the natal chart, now this is gonna be next. So what we need to see here, Purva Bhadra. You see Saturn and Rahu together here, and they are having aspects with Mars. So whenever you see Saturn and Rahu, Saturn and Mars, Mars and Rahu, it's a very concerning points. It's moments of some aggressive events, some unfortunate events, something warlike events. And here we can see the activation of 3 of these planets at the same time during the solar eclipse. So whatever solar eclipse activating, it's activating for the next few months. And let's check the transit of the solar eclipse in the NATO's chart. Right? I would say let's check the 29th of April, the moment of exact Saturn and Rahu conjunction, because this will show us something very important. And we'll go again to Sarvabhadra chart here, and here we see, so in the NATO chart, Purvabhadra Nakshatra is whenever there's like a malefic planets going over here or aspecting here, and Purvabhadra and Purvabhadra, so it's this one and this one. So here we see affecting Rahu, here we see Mars. So both those sensitive points of death and destruction are affected by Rahu and Mars. The only good support here, you see the Tithi of the birth of the NATO is Nanda. This is, I calculated beforehand. And Nanda is receiving aspects from Ketu and Mercury. Mercury is the only one that is not malefic here. So we saw Rahu Ketu there. No, sorry, we saw Rahu Mars here. How many it was? One. Okay, one malefic. Two malefic. 3 malefic Ketu here and 1 benefic. So obviously it's not gonna help to lower the steam of whatever is going to happen. Just for my sake of interest, I'm gonna check the solar eclipse in March 2025. And it's the same story. Look, so basically here we can see it better in this program, in this software. Let's go first, solar eclipse, right? So solar eclipse, very devastating solar eclipse. Which part of the chart is going to activate here? Look, oh my gosh, Saturn and Rahu, they are not in the exact conjunction here. They're 0 degree and 3 degree, but they already in the 7th house of NATO, 7th house of peace and war. All the planets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 planets are in the 7th house. 7 planets even in the 7th house. That's scary for me. At the solar eclipse, they're not activating any points except, I would say, ascendant. Ascendant is 0, 6 degrees. It's very close to 0 and 3. And it just makes me chills. Give me chills. I don't know. I don't like what I see. And now let's go to the 29th of April. And let's see, they're still in the same 7th house. They're about to conjunct. So basically the conjunction is happening around the ascendant. Ascendant is a crucial point. So for example, when Martin Luther King has been assassinated, the conjunction of Saturn and Rahu happened right beforehand, on the same degree of his ascendant, in the 12th house. And let's go to the solar return chart of NATO. For the 2025. And we can see the same almost situation here. The ruler of the 7th house, Sun, sitting on the 2nd house in the Pisces, with a Rahu, with a Saturn, Venus retrograde, Mercury debilitated. It's extremely concerning. So something is about to happen. And if we watch the inauguration chart of Trump of 2025, the transit of the 29 April 2025 is happening on the same degree, more or less, of Rahu in the 12th house. So Rahu means the 12th house means foreign lands. Rahu means immigrants. There's might be connection with Mars and the 4th house. So I can see it like as I might see like the possibility of two type of events. One event specifically for the USA is something about to happen regarding the new immigration policies. People are not happy. Look, the Mars in the debilitated position in the Lagnesh, and the ruler of the 8th house in the 4th house of happiness of the country, of women and kids of the country, of land of the country. So military forces occupying aggressive military, hysterically aggressive military forces are occupying the land of the country. The happiness of people are out of the question. There's a lot of suffer to women and kids. And what might happen at this significant conjunction of Saturn and Rahu? It might be some massive events against the current new policies, the current new position of Trump administration about immigrants, with some destruction, with some losses, because there's connection with the 12th house. But also for the United States, as NATO is a sort of a baby of United States. The NATO started in United States. It started from United States. So for United States, it might be also meaning of something that is happening in the foreign lands, not inside the country. And I think this is more likely to happen. Also the sign of Pisces, because this conjunction doesn't affect directly the charts, the personal charts of the president and vice president and etc., etc. I think it's something that is about to happen overseas. It's something that about to happen probably on the water, in the water, because the Pisces is a watery sign. And I think this is about it. So this is about it. As you can see, I used a few techniques, quite a few. I used Vimshottari Dashas. I used Pavachalita. I used Charadasha Jaimini. I used transits. I used solar eclipses and Sarvatapadra chakra. I used the Varshapala. It's a solar return. And just to narrow down the territory, I might need to dive deeper, and it's gonna take more days and hours to do more extensive research in that area to figure out that where actually on the planet Earth it might happen. But yeah, that's about it. And I hope you stay safe. I will try to keep an updates on my social media if I will figure out the dangerous spots for that periods. I hope you stay safe, and I will see you in the next videos. Bye.